Evening. Welcome to House Church. Hope you had an excellent Christmas break. Welcome to House Church if you're coming back after Christmas break, or welcome for the very first time if you just signed up this week. Either way, we are so happy that you are here. We are starting a new series this week where we are walking through Luke chapter 5. We actually taught once through the entire book of Luke together as a church. It took us 90 weeks to get through the whole book, no joke. So we actually stretched it out over a 3-year period, and we went through Luke chapter 5 together way back in the dead of summer, July of 2018. And I ran the math, and our church has grown so exponentially the past 3 or 4 years that only 7% of you were here for that back in July of 2018, which is pretty wild. So this should be brand new for most of you. I wanted to take us back to Luke 5 because I think it's just a really important chapter for the unique season that we are in as a church. A season where we are getting ready to start sending hundreds of people to different Renovation Church locations in 2026 to bring more of God's light to the darkness and around the Twin Cities metro. And in Luke chapter 5, in verses 1 through 11, we see Jesus speaking to the crowd from a boat on the Sea of Galilee. Then he asks Peter to put his boat out into deep water, and Jesus tells Peter to put down his nets for a catch. And Peter says, we've kind of been out all night already, and we didn't catch anything. So basically, Jesus, is not going to work right now during the day, right, when the fish aren't even in the deep water. But then Peter says this really important line. He says, but because you say so, I will let down the nets. And listen, Peter could have come up with any number of possible excuses, right? He could have said, nah, sorry, Jesus. I just literally pulled an all-nighter, so it's not a good time. He could have said, no, sorry, Jesus. What do you know about fishing? You're a carpenter. I'm the fisherman. Could have said, no, sorry, Jesus. The best fishing is at night, not during the day. What you're asking me to do doesn't actually even make sense. No, sorry, Jesus. We just actually washed our nets, so it's just not going to work right now. And the reality is, we today tend to say, no, sorry, Jesus, way more than we say, because you say so, I will. And we've got this long list of excuses on why we can't obey God's leading. We say, God, I know it's the beginning of a new year, and I would get up earlier and meet with you, but I just started a new job. Or it's just so dark in the morning in January, but maybe in June, God. And part of the reason I think that we give permission to our excuses is because we tell ourselves, okay, it's a no now, but later, when my excuses are done, then I will say yes. We say, God, I can't serve you on Sunday mornings at church now, but later, when my job changes, when I have a different job, when my kids are older, then I will start serving you. And so we feel justified, actually, in saying, no, sorry, Jesus, because we totally do believe that later we will obey. But here's the thing. Most of the time, almost all the time, when it reaches later, what happens? We just get a different list of excuses, right? That's how life usually works, for me anyway, right? So I want you to talk tonight in your small group about what God may be leading you to do. It might be something unique or specific, or it may be just that he's been nudging you to obey something in his word about how Christians should live. And talk about the excuses that have been holding you back from obeying, and what it would take for you to live more like Peter and to say, hey, Lord, this doesn't make sense to me right now. I'm not even sure I want to do it, but because you say so, I will do it. Amen.